My name is Omer Ahern Jr. and I am the District 3 Grafton County Commissioner, and this is my periodic report to the people of Grafton County, especially the people in District 3, the southeastern part of Grafton County. This is my periodic report on what's going on in county government here in Grafton County. I serve with two other county commissioners, Linda Lauer from District 2, which is the northern and western part of Grafton County. Commissioner Lauer is the chairperson of the Grafton County Board of Commissioners. And I also serve with Commissioner Wendy Piper from District 1, which comprises the towns of Hanover, Lebanon, and Enfield. And Commissioner Piper is the clerk of the Grafton County Commission. I serve as the vice chairperson of the Grafton County Commission. And the county commissioners are responsible for, by statute, for the operation and oversight of the county nursing home. In Grafton County, we have a 135-bed nursing home, skilled care facility. But normally, our census is around 130 to 128. So we've always got beds available, even though we have a waiting list. We seem not to be able to get to the highest census. We're also responsible for the operation and the running of the Department of Corrections in Grafton County. The correctional facility is by statute a place where pre-trial detainees are held awaiting trial if they aren't allowed to post bail. And this could be murderers and the worst types of people that have been charged with crimes, and they're held in the house. They're held in the jail at our House of Correction. And then we also have the House of Correction, which is for people who have been convicted of a crime and sentenced to a year and a day or less for incarceration. And we have a 150-bed facility in Grafton County up in Woodsville for the correctional facility. And I can talk a little bit more about that. In addition, Grafton County also has an award-winning dairy farm. And we also grow vegetables up there. Some of the vegetables are fed into the nursing home and into the House of Correction. So in addition to the dairy herd that we also have pigs and chickens. And certainly a lot of the eggs from the chickens are fed into the Department of Corrections. And we sell eggs to the public, and we also sell the baby pigs out on the open market for people that want to buy a piglet and take care of it and raise it and then process it later on in the year. And just very quickly, I want to just remind everyone to put on their calendar that there's going to be an open barn, the Grafton County Farm Open Barn, also known as the Grafton County Farm and Woodlands open house on June 30th. June 23rd. June 23rd, up in Grafton County, up in North Haverhill. And so everybody's invited to attend that. I gave you the wrong date. I'm looking at the wrong piece of information here. So it is going to be Saturday, June 23rd, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Grafton County Open Barn, Farm, and Woodlands Day. Today's going to be kind of a potpourri of reporting, so bear with me a little bit. I think the last time we met, we were getting ready to have our commissioner meeting on March 27th. And again, the county commissioners meet on each Tuesday of each week. And we meet up at the county complex up on Daniel Webster Highway in Woodsville, North Haverhill. And we meet in the county administration building, a very historic building up there. So on Tuesday, March 27th, we met with the employee council. We are in the process of, the commissioners are in the process of putting together the annual budget. This would be for fiscal year 2019, which begins on July 1st, 2018. And so we need to put together a budget for the entire county government and all of the different agencies and departments that are there. And some of the nursing home employees are in a union, but those employees that are not in a union are represented by an employee council, and they had their delegation come in and meet with us at 9 o'clock on March 27th to talk about their concerns for the budget, what they wanted to see as increases in the salaries and benefits, etc., for the employees of Grafton County that they represent. So their presentation and the notes and the request there have been taken by the commissioners and are going to be considered as we put together the budget for the nursing home and the department and the maintenance department and the farm. Then we met with Brent Ruggles, the IT manager, the information technology manager, and Mr. Ruggles is an amazing person. He runs that department that keeps the entire county running smoothly. The information technology, the computers, the software, that is what's the glue that keeps the entire Grafton County complex and facility together. And so we're very appreciative of that. The one thing that we have to deal with, though, in the information technology field is the hardware has a useful life of 5 to 6 years, so we are constantly replacing laptop computers and other computers and printers, and then the software. The software vendors have figured out that they can make more money by charging us every year rather than just buying some software and installing it and using it. As many of you know, the software people, they stop providing backup or keeping you up to date on things. So that's becoming a very serious financial drain on the county. What can we do? We have to have the technology. But we get a very good report. Mr. Ruggles is in all of the departments, the county attorney's office, the Department of Corrections, the Commissioner's office, the nursing home. He even is providing, tech support for the computers that are used at the farm dairy operation. So we're very much appreciative of the work that Brent Ruggles and his team, Joey, and I'll come up with his name, forgive me, at the Information Technology Department. The next person to present was Mr. Tom Elliott. He is the Superintendent of the Department of Corrections, and he made his monthly report to us. And on March 27th, he reported to us that in the Department of Corrections, he presently has a population of 78 inmates. And even though our facility was built for 150 beds, because of some technical issues, they had to remove some of the bunks off the top of some of the some of the dorm rooms, and so we're down to 142 bed capacity. But we only have 78 inmates there. In the medium male unit, we have 27 inmates there. In the female unit, we have 16. 3 of those female residents are from Coos County. Coos County pays us a fee to house their female residents in our facility. In the male minimum unit, we have 24 inmates there, and these are the inmates that would be working out on the farm, working in the gardens, working out in the community corrections, doing painting at Grange halls or in town office buildings and things. And then in the maximum unit, we have 8 inmates there. These are the folks that are being held pending trial, were not allowed to post a bail, or they are in some type of disciplinary action as an inmate there. And then our intake pod, we have 3 people there. Out of the facility, we have 38 residents of the Department of Corrections that we're responsible for. We have 10 inmates out on electronic monitoring. We also have 13 people in the FIRM program. And the FIRM program, which is something that's done in-house at the Department of Corrections, it's the focused, intentional Reentry and Recovery Program. It's a 3-level reentry service and addiction treatment program for inmates at the Grafton County. And at this time, we have 5 inmates in the entry level, level 1, and we have 8 inmates in level 2, and then there's a 3rd level. We don't have any folks in there yet. And we also have 16 people in pretrial services. Operation Impact, some of you may have heard of Sergeant Larson going out to the schools where your children or your grandchildren go to school. Sergeant Larson conducted presentations at the Littleton High School and conducted jail tours and presentations twice to Lebanon Middle School and once to the Whitefield School 8th grade. And so what Operation Impact is designed to do is to try to give some of our young people in grammar school and high school an idea of what can happen to them if they fall out of line and don't follow the laws of our state and nation. Sergeant Griffin is in charge of our community work program, and he supervises the work crews on the county complex, doing some painting there for the barn, snow removal, and miscellaneous chores. So we appreciate the work that Sergeant Griffin does, and you may see sometimes out in the communities. They're over here in Holderness and Plymouth doing things, maybe helping to clean up the cemeteries at the end of the winter. So this is part of the report that we get from Superintendent Elliott, and one of the things that the commissioners have asked Superintendent Elliott to take a look at is looking into the possibility, because our census is so down in our correctional facility, to see if there may be some federal inmates that we could house there, work out an agreement with the federal government. And we've also asked him to look into working with the state of Vermont. Now, unfortunately, the state of Vermont correctional system is a whole lot different than our New Hampshire correctional system, but we are trying to see if there's something that we can do there. There'll be more to that, I hope, to follow. After Tom Elliott, the superintendent of the correction department, spoke, then we heard from Mr. Bill Gilding, the alternative sentencing director, and he gave a report, and he talked a little bit about his budget request, and his budget is up over $212,000. And he's asked for permission to put in a new program. So that's one of the issues that we've had to deal with there. On April 3rd, yesterday, we met again up at the county complex, and the first item on the agenda was to meet with some of the representatives of the Grafton County Bar Association. That's a group of the attorneys that practice law here in Grafton County and actually have offices here in Grafton County. We met with Kristen Ross, who is the president of the Grafton County Bar Association. The issue that we were asking, the commissioners were asking the Bar Association to talk with us about is there is a room in the courthouse, on the second floor of the courthouse, that has been set aside as a conference area, meeting space for attorneys, strictly for members of the private bar and the public defender's office. Any other people, the Attorney General's office, when they come up, they have the conference rooms on the first floor. The county attorney has a lot of room in the courthouse, plus the county attorney's office is taking over a lot of the area in the old administration building. So county attorney had asked the commissioners about taking over the lawyers' space, the lawyers' conference area and meeting area. And but we asked the Bar Association, and the overwhelming consensus of the members of the bar who were asked was they need that area, they use it, it's important from their point of view to the fair and impartial administration of justice, in that they have this area to meet with their clients, especially the public defenders, whose office is down in Orford. And so when they come up and provide representation to indigent defendants, they count on this office space as a place to hold their files and meet with their clients there. So we've taken that into account as we go forward, and we will keep you posted on that. The next person on the agenda at yesterday's April 3rd meeting was Tom Elliott he's the Superintendent of Corrections, and he gave us a quick update on his analysis of the state of Vermont's request for proposals in providing inmate housing for Vermont inmates. And essentially, Superintendent Elliott, and he also brought his chief nurse, the charge nurse, from the Department of Corrections. There is nursing care. There are RNs on duty at the House of Correction 24 hours a day. And so he brought in the nurse, Orally Achilles, who is again a registered nurse, and they went over the items that were outlined in the Vermont request for proposal. And they really felt that as that request for proposal is presented, there's just so many additional requirements because of the state inmates from Vermont that they're looking to house in Grafton County. That it's just almost an insurmountable thing. However, we've asked him to keep his mind open, and we're going to continue some conversations with the correctional department in the state of Vermont. Then we had Sheriff Doug Dutile, the High Sheriff of Grafton County, came in with his Chief Administrative Officer, Lieutenant Kelly, and they came in and requested permission from the commissioners to enter into a contract to purchase some new tasers. The tasers that we're presently using in the Sheriff's Department are outdated. The manufacturers are no longer providing support or updates for those tasers, and the sheriff had put together a very good contract to replace those tasers, and it's basically a money-saving operation for the taxpayers of the county. So again, we appreciate the good work that Sheriff Doug Dutile does for the county, and the commissioners approved the purchase of the 10 new tasers to properly equip his deputies in the Sheriff's Department. Then we heard the next person that came in was Karen Clough, who is the Human Resource Director, and she made a report on a budget concern. I think as I reported to you a 3 months ago, the county was presented with a not to exceed increase rate from our present health insurance company of 41.67% in our health insurance rates for our county employees' health insurance. That translated into about $1,200,000 increase in the health insurance, and that, the commissioners just knew that was going to be a non-starter. So Mrs. Clough is out talking with other insurance companies. One of the problems is there aren't enough insurance companies doing business in the state of New Hampshire with the way the rules and regulations and the statutes are presently set up. But she has come up with some different options and talking with those other insurance companies that are willing to talk with us. And when that budget is finalized, I will tell you what the final rates are for the health insurance. Then we had a visit from Craig Labor, the nursing home administrator. Again, Craig Labor is a graduate of St. Anselm's College. That's where I graduated from back in 1976. So he's a hardworking fellow there. Nursing home administration is not an easy job these days with all of the rules and regulations that the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services from the Federal Department of Health and Human Services is unduly placing on our county and private nursing homes. And he presented to us a document that he had to prepare in accordance with the CMS That's the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This was a quality improvement program, and it's a 27-page document that's going to end up creating more and more work for our present employees and could ultimately cost the taxpayers more money. I did not vote to adopt that contract with, or to adopt that policy, the quality improvement program, because our nursing home is already and has been. My experience with nursing homes in the state of New Hampshire goes way back from the time I was a youngster growing up at the Sullivan County Nursing Home in Unity, New Hampshire. Our nursing homes, our county nursing homes, are already doing all of these things that were outlined in this CMS Quality Improvement Program. And so I said, we're already doing it. Why do we need to put more regulatory burden on our staff and on our employees? And of course, the answer is, well, if we don't do it, we're not going to get our money from the feds. Well, to me, that's blackmail. And I think there's another way to do it. And I recommended to the other two commissioners that we invite our federal delegation, Senator Shaheen, Senator Hassan, Congresswoman Custer, and Congresswoman Shea Porter to one of our county commissioner meetings so we can explain to them, try to explain to them, that there's got to be some changes at the federal level. The rules and regulations that are imposed on our county nursing homes and on our county jails is just unfair. It's just not right. And so we need to talk with our federal elected officials to try to get some decent changes, smart changes, appropriate changes in the federal regulatory system that's out there. So a lot of things going on at the county, no doubt about it. The farm is getting ready to start its planting season. They've purchased their seeds, the county farm. They've purchased their seeds. They got the potatoes in that they'll cut up into potato eyes. And again, we have some of the best farmland in Grafton County there on the banks of the Connecticut River. It's outstanding farmland there, unlike the farmland that we have here in Plymouth, at least in the hills of Plymouth, where there's all kinds of rocks we have to deal with. So getting ready to put in our vegetables, getting ready to put in, you know, acres and acres of squash, acres and acres of potatoes. And so the nice thing, the important thing from my point of view for the farm is the farm does provide opportunities for the inmates from the House of Correction to get out and work and maybe learn a little bit about farming, so that, you know, when they get out, maybe they can take some of those skills that they've learned, some of the tools that they picked up working at the county home, and bring them home to their families and, you know, help to grow some fresh vegetables for the kids and their families there. So just a couple of other important things. I use these periodic reports, and I thank the Pemmy Baker television folks, for Juliet and Andrew, for allowing me to have this time here, because there just aren't enough hours in the day for me to try to get to every selectmen's meeting, and the select boards are busy. They've got other things on their plate, and so I'm using these video reports to try to get out to the people of Grafton County what is going on. And I want to hear from you folks. I really do. And the other two commissioners would like to hear from you. There is a Grafton County website. All you have to do is type in the Google bar there, Grafton County, New Hampshire, or Grafton County, New Hampshire government, and it'll take you right there. And all the minutes of our meetings are on there, and, you know, the services that are provided through the Department of Corrections, it's there. But my phone number for Commissioner Omer Ahern is in Wentworth, 764-6024, 764-6024. If I'm not there, I do have voicemail at that number. and I would be glad to hear from you, and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Even better is if you would email me. My email address, it's my one concession to the 21st century, is I do have email. My email address is omer.ahern.jr@gmail.com. So it's omer.ahern.jr, the @gmail.com. So I'd love to hear from you by way of email as well. So don't forget the Open Barn Day, Open Farm Day, coming up on Saturday, June 23rd. Put it on your calendar. There's going to be a lot of people there for you to meet. Some of your legislators will be there. We've invited Governor Sununu to be there. So come up and see the wonderful things we're doing in our farm operation up there. And again, I thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say here. Again, I want to thank the folks at PBTV for making this time available to me. And just want to finish up with God bless the state of New Hampshire, live free or die, and God bless the great United States of America. Thank you.